Welcome everybody, it's Debbie O'Neill of Scrap Me Quick Designs, and today I have another fun thing to share with you. Now, you guys have been asking me, what is up with the new HTVRont auto press? Is it a good deal? Is it something I should get? Should I have it on my wish list? How does it compare to other heat presses? Is it something that I need? Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to talk about the new HTVRont Auto Press. I did get one so I could test it because you guys keep asking about it, and I always want to give you my honest opinion about what do I think about these things and if it's something that you should maybe consider adding to your craft machines. Okay, now they did send it to me to do the test because they saw that people were asking me questions and I kept telling them I don't have one. So they contacted me and said, could we send you one so you could give it a test? So they are not paying me to do this. They sent me a machine. I was willing to buy one, but they were generous enough to send it to me. So I want to be upfront about that. Now, in today's video, I'm going to show you the basics about the machine. We're going to talk about what do I think about the quality of it. Is it something that I would use? I see myself using because I don't recommend things to you guys that I don't personally want to use myself. And just some general overall things about the machine. And then we're going to make two projects because I want you to see it in action. And then if you have any questions, you can leave them in the description in the comments where you see the video, and I will try to answer those. I'll do a couple of follow-up videos as well, so leave those questions so if I miss something I can answer it in the next video. Okay, so let's take a look at this and see what you guys think. So I did want to talk about the machine overall and what was my impression. It came in a big box. I had to have my husband help me carry the box in, not because it was heavy, just that the box was bulky. So I would definitely recommend having somebody help you bring the box into your craft area. But once it got back here, I was able to get it out myself. I just kind of opened it up. It does come very well packaged with a lot of styrofoam and stuff around it. Now, once I got it out, it only weighs 38 pounds, and I was easily able to lift that myself and even put it up here onto my desk. So it weighs about 38 pounds, but it is very solidly built. I was really impressed with the quality of it and just the general aesthetics of it. Now it comes in white and it comes in a mint color. Those are the colors that it comes in. Overall, it is a 15 by 15 heat press. That means that the area that it can press is 15 by 15. Let's talk about the size of this thing. So from top to bottom, from here to here, it's about 12 inches, okay? And then from side to side, it's 16 inches. And front to back, it's about 22 inches. So, you know, it doesn't take up a huge amount of space. I think I've had other heat presses that were had a larger footprint and that were also 15 by 15. Now, a heat press usually comes in 2 or 3 configurations. So you get one that's a clamshell, which means that it opens, like here's the heating element here, and it opens top to bottom onto your material. Okay, so you've got to have room to lift it up and push it down. Then the other type of heat press is what they call a swing arm, which where the heating element is swings out and then back over. So you have to have a lot of radius. The thing that I really like about the HTVRont auto press is that it is a drawer and it just slides out. Isn't that cool? So it just slides in and out, and so you put your material here, and you'll see me do that here in a few minutes, and then you slide it back in. So it slides out about, I don't know, maybe 17 inches out, okay, from the front of the machine. So it slides out. That's including the handle that's on the front of it. Now, this part of it remains cool to the touch, and the bottom part remains cool to the touch. the white part here, which is the protective cover on the heating plate. So here where you see my finger, this is where the heating plate is. And then this is where the pad, the heating pad goes, and this is where your garment goes. And then it slides in, and then if you have it on auto press, it will automatically lower it, and you'll see me do that here in a minute. And then that way you don't have to worry about pushing anything or pulling anything or whatever. You just slide it in. It's on auto press. It presses for you. Now you can turn that feature off, which I do like that because occasionally you might not want to have that feature on. But if you do a lot of t-shirt printing, pressing, or you're working on sublimation projects or whatever, and you're doing a lot of that, having the automatic press means that it's going to close, and then as soon as it's up to temperature and your project's ready, it goes up on its own. You don't have to run over there, and you can be doing something else in your craft room and you don't have to run over there and lift it up when you hear that beep. It's automatically going to take the pressing plate off of your project. So I think that's really a cool feature. Now let's look at the front of this real close, and so I can talk about the buttons and how it works, because it's super simple, guys. So this is the power button here, and we'll just turn it on so you can see it has the power on. Now when it comes on, it does have a fan in it that kind of hums a little bit, so you'll hear a little bit of noise, but I've always heard that with my heat presses, so it's not a big deal. And it's pretty low. I don't even know if you can hear it on the camera, but so you do know that it's on, because that is the power button, and this is the go button over here where there's a big R. And then there is a temperature and time button, just like with our easy press if you have an easy press. So you have temperature and time that you set, and then you can increase that with the plus sign, and you can decrease it with the minus sign. And then here on the bottom, you have 3 other options. The first one is there are automatically set modes. So if we click through those, you click the first one, there's one lights up here, and that is at 300 degrees for 15 seconds. You click it again, and it goes to mode number 2, which is 320 for 15 seconds. You click it again, and it goes to mode number 3, which is 330 seconds for 20 seconds. 330 temp for 20 seconds. Sorry about that. And then the fourth one is 390 for 40 seconds. Okay, so these are 4 preset modes that are pretty common in with most of your heat transfer materials, sublimation, and so forth. And then you have this button that looks kind of like a gear, and this allows you to set your own 2 of your own time and temperatures, okay? And then this button here is an A with a little arrow around it, and this is where you can toggle it off and on if you want that automatic press, okay? So right now I don't have the automatic press on. I would pull the drawer out, put my material on, I'd slide it back in, and if I wanted it to work, I would just hit the power button. Not the power button. I would hit the go button here, which is like an R, and you would do that, and see it lowers it, and then it's going to press for the time. At any time, you can hit any button on here to stop that. Okay, so that's another good feature. Maybe you did it and you went, oh no, I have it on the wrong temperature. Any button on here will stop the process. Okay, so that's a good thing to know. Now, the other thing is, if you want the auto press on, you would just click this little arrow here, and you will get it where it says the little A with the arrow on it. And that means that I don't have to press that button, that when I put my material on here and I slide this in, you slide the drawer in until it clicks. Let me move that out so you guys can see that. So if I slide, we're going to stop that real quick because you didn't see that part. Okay, so let's say I've got my project on my mat, okay? Once I slide it in, when you slide the drawer in, you hear a little click. And when it's on auto press, I don't have to hit the go button. It automatically did it for me, okay? So that'll save you some time if you're doing a lot of projects. It also is nice because once once it gets to, counts down the time for you, it's automatically going to lift up. So let's watch it do that. That's the whole part about it being automatic, guys. People were asking me, what does automatic mean? Aren't all electronic machines automatic? No, it just means that it opens and closes automatically for you. And it does the temperature and the time countdown like all heat presses do. Okay, now it beeps. And then now that it's reached the time and the temp, it raised it up itself. And then all I have to do is slide the drawer out and my project would be done. Okay, so that's kind of the basics of the machine. I'm going to do it off right now. And so we're going to make a project. So let's go ahead and get that set up. And the machine does come with a really nice size 20 by 16 Teflon sheet, which helps protect your materials, and you'll see me using it here in just a minute. So it does come with the machine, which I thought was really nice. And then the first project we're going to make is a t-shirt. So I just have a regular Gildan, I think the cotton, 100% cotton Gildan shirt. I probably got it at Michael's. I don't know. It's been in my stash for a while. But we're going to make a t-shirt. And I'm going to be using, HTVRont has their own materials as well for heat transfer and also for vinyl. And I got the black glitter heat transfer vinyl. So we're going to try that today because I hadn't used their product before. And then this is an image in Design Space that I cut out with that heat transfer vinyl. Now it weeded really easily, and I was really impressed. It cut fine on just the regular iron-on settings for glitter in my Cricut Maker machine, and it was super easy to weed. So that they get an A+ for their glitter iron-on. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and set it up. So the glitter transfer, I'm going to use one of the modes. So I'm going to hit the mode button. I'm going to hit it. So it says 320 for 15 seconds. That's what they recommend for their heat iron-on. We're going to have to wait for this to cool down. But in the meantime, let's put this onto our mat. Okay, so I pulled the drawer out here, and I'm going to take my shirt. And you can do it either way. You can lay it here and push your shirt back into it like this, and then pull your shirt down, and you would be able to slide it in, and you have to hear it click. Now, I don't want it to do it just yet, so I had to turn it off because I had it on automatic. But I preheated it now, okay? So now it's ready. So I can do it that way, or you can turn your shirt so the seam of the neck wouldn't be there. So you can hang it either direction that you want to, okay? And then the other thing about this is that there is an auto off feature. So if you get a phone call or you walk out of the room to do something with the kids and you have not touched it in 10 minutes, it's automatically going to turn it off for you. So I really like that. When it gets to time and temp, appropriate for what you selected it for, it will beep at you and let you know that it is ready. Now I've got this set here. I've done a pre-press, and now I'm just going to place my iron-on. I'm just kind of hold this up here, probably about like that. Okay, and then I always like to put the Teflon sheet on. That's just my personal preference. A lot of people say you don't have to, but I like to put the Teflon sheet on top. And as soon as it beeps at me, we're going to put this in, and I've got it set on automatic. So I have the A on the machine, and I have it set on automatic. And now that I've got my project prepped, we're just waiting for it to get to the correct temperature, and then you're going to see it in action. Okay, so it has beeped at me. It is at 320 for 15 seconds, which was the mode number 2 that we selected. And now all I have to do, now that I've got my material prepped here, I'm going to slide this in until I hear it click. And then it's automatically going to go down. It will not do that if it didn't click in the back. So as long as you made sure that it's pushed all the way in, it automatically does it. It's counting down for me. When it's finished, it's just going to automatically raise up. Okay, and then you just pull the drawer out. Now, glitter iron-on is a cool peel, so we will need to wait for this to pull off before I can peel it. So we're going to work on our second project while our first one cools down, and I'm going to do a tote bag and sublimation. Now, everybody was asking about, can it do sublimation? What temperature? How high would it go up to? It does go up to 400 degrees, and I can do sublimation. Now, I am using Hippo ink and an HP EcoTank printer that's been converted to do sublimation prints, and I'm using Hippo ink, sublimation ink, and I used a Hippo ink transfer paper. Okay, so I got an image from Creative Fabrica, one of my favorite places to get images from, and this is going to be a book bag to give to a friend. And so I picked an image, I printed it out on my sublimation with my sublimation ink printer and put it on sublimation paper. So that's what you're seeing me do next. I just wanted to be very clear about that. But I had a lot of questions from people. Would this work with sublimation? Let's find out. So we do need to set it for sublimation. So if you click to the fourth mode, that is your sublimation mode, and that is about 385, 390 degrees, and it's for 40 seconds. Okay, so I have, of course, you have to have, if you're doing sublimation, you have to have a sublimation blank. So I am using a Cricut Sublimation compatible tote bag, and I'm going to put this on here. So I have laid this on here. Now, if you want, you can add a pad in here. I'm not going to add the pad. I wanted to try it without adding an extra pad in here. However, since we're doing sublimation, you also want to have butcher paper. So I have just some white butcher paper that I cut off a roll. That make sure you're always using unwaxed butcher paper, or you're going to have a hot mess. I just buy a big roll of it and cut it off. So I'm going to lay this here just to help protect my pressing pad on my HTVRont auto press, so that with sublimation ink, you know, sometimes that ink transfers because it releases a gas when you heat up the ink. So I have the pad here, I have the tote bag on top of that. Then I'm going to place my sublimation print. I'm going to put that on my tote bag where I want it. And then I also want to make sure that my the edge of my handles is off of the press, because I don't want to have any seams, and so I'm kind of pulled that over so it's hanging off the edge of the press. And then I have my sublimation print on top of the tote bag where I want it on here. And then I'm going to add a second sheet of butcher paper. Now, you want to protect your heating element from the sublimation ink transferring onto that, because sublimation ink, if you haven't used it before, it's kind of like the Cricut infusible ink. Is the transfer sheets are actually a sublimation ink that's just dried onto the material. And then you cut that out and transfer it just like the ink. Okay, so when it warms up, it releases a gas that turns, that's what makes it bond with the polyester fibers, and that's why it's important that you have a sublimation blank. You cannot do this on just a regular t-shirt or regular tote bag, canvas tote bag. To do sublimation, you need a sublimation compatible blank. Okay, so now that we've got this on here, it's at 390 for 40 seconds. I am going to turn on the auto pressure back on. Just clicking the button, how easy is that? And then I'm going to slide this in. And I'm going to do it, push it till it hits the back. And now it's going to go ahead and count down. It's at 390 for 40 seconds. It's doing the countdown. The other thing is, while this top part here is where the heating element is here, where it's black, it's the heating element. This is not burning my hand to put it here. It's just warm, okay? The top of the machine is completely cool. The bottom of the machine is completely cool. I did set it on a Cricut mat just to make sure it didn't damage my surface, but it's not, none of the heat is transferring down here. I've had this on for a while and it is perfectly fine. Now it has released, counted it down, and I'm going to pull this out. And it doesn't look like any of the ink transferred to this, so I could use this sheet again. You never want to use a piece of your butcher paper if any of your ink got transferred. All right, so we're going to then just peel this up. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, so here is the tote bag, the Sublimation tote bag that we just made. It says, "This girl loves reading books." How fun is that? And that was super easy, okay, and super fast. We're going to go ahead and just turn the machine off because I'm not going to use it right now. We are going to go in and take off our cooled t-shirt with the glitter transfer, and I'm just going to peel this right off. Oh, it's coming off like a dream, guys. Oh, that is so cute. It's black glitter vinyl, but it has kind of like blue specks in it, you know, multicolor specks in it. It turned out so cute. Oh my gosh, she's gonna love this. She is a huge soccer fan. This is for my 10-year-old granddaughter who is a big soccer player. She loves to play soccer and watch soccer. So this shirt is for her, and it turned out so good. I'm really happy with it. It was so easy to do. I'm just checking it to make sure, yeah, it looks great. Looks great. It adhered really well. Okay, so in conclusion, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that I know one of the questions people had was, what is the depth of a project you can get in here? Okay, so it's 1 inch. Anything that's 1 inch in height, width, whatever you want to call it, can fit in the machine. Okay, so that's going to cover almost all typical things that you're going to be making. You know, tote bags, t-shirts, sublimation blanks, almost all of those are flat surfaces. Anything, even wood, like up to 1/3 of an inch to 1 inch of wood would fit in there. So if you wanted to try some of those kind of projects. I do know that the Cricut AutoPress fits things that are up to 2 inches. So if you think you're going to do some big sublimation or heat transfer project and you want a wider width, then you may need to spend more money and go with another type of machine. But I think for the typical home hobby crafter, maybe with a small business, I think that this is a great value. I think that it will serve your needs. It is a quality machine. It was certainly easy to use, straight out of the box, hardly any setup, plug and play basically. Seems to be well made. I enjoyed using it. It has everything I've tried on it so far has worked really great. So I think that that is a big plus. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment with where the video is so that I can help answer those questions. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to catch anything that I didn't answer in this video. I tried to be thorough, and I always try to be honest. If I didn't like this, I would tell you guys. I would say, no, don't waste your money. It's a piece of junk. Don't buy it. However, that is not the case. It is not a piece of junk. It is really well made from what I can tell. Works great, and I think it's a great addition to your craft room. And add it to your wish list. It is available on Amazon right now, and they ship immediately. They've already got a shipment over at Amazon waiting for you to get home, bring home immediately. So if you have some holiday crafting you're thinking you want to have, I know when I checked this morning, the price point was $285 or so, and it ships out immediately, and you could have it in a couple of days. So I thought that was nice. I'll link up in the description of the video the Amazon link. I appreciate it if you use my link if you're going to go buy one, because it helps me out and it doesn't cost you anything else. And also the HTVRont website, they're having a huge Black Friday sale. Now it's not going to be a sale on the machines, but on all of their other products, all of their heat transfer products and all of their vinyl and so forth. They have tools and some other things too. So there's a big Black Friday sale coming up, and I'll link that up in the description of the video too if you are watching this video before Black Friday. I think that's about it. Jolene and I are ready to go have our dinner. She's sitting here with me. She's been patiently waiting. And so Jolene and I are going to go eat our dinner. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you guys later.